It's all gone. All gone. I mean, the kids were born here, raised them here.
Right now at 11, California dream destroyed. Why there's once again new uncertainty as fire crews head into another long night. Plus, why did the lawyer representing the St. Helens High teacher facing sex abuse charges show up in court? And
we can only do so much. We can only see so many people.
As the largest healthcare worker strike in Oregon history does not appear to have an end in sight. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin this Friday with a missing mother in Salem who authorities now say was murdered by her boyfriend. Alma McCarty spoke with the victim's mother and sister after the suspect was arraigned in court. Alma?
David, Priscilla Aldana's family and friends had been searching for her since before Christmas. Now they say their desperation has turned to heartbreak.
A few days before Christmas, 43-year-old Priscilla Aldana vanished.
I just had a feeling that she had never left Salem.
Her mother, Iris, and her sister, Delia, reported her missing and began their search, including where she was last seen, around Lancaster Drive and Hagersgrove Road.
And we moved on throughout, and we just kept spreading the word, I'm gonna find my sister. I'm gonna find her if I have to tear up the town and all the towns around. But there was no news coming back, no updates, no nothing. They were coming up empty-handed. Everywhere they searched, looked, talked to people.
Then, on January 3rd, Salem police detectives found a body in a vacant lot outside a burned building on Lancaster Drive southeast. The medical examiner identifying the victim as Priscilla.
My sister didn't deserve to go out like that.
Then, this Thursday, officers arrested Priscilla's boyfriend, 44-year-old Eric Meza, on charges of murder, arson, and abuse of a corpse.
I'm trusting the authorities to do the right thing, to be able to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt that yes, he had involvement in this.
And as their search now turns toward justice,
I'm gonna remember her just the way that she was. From the day she was born until the last moment I saw her. Just a wonderful individual with a great big heart. Priscilla's loved by everybody above and beyond, and this has impacted so many people that she's never gonna leave our hearts. She has left a mark in this world for a lot of people.
Salem police are saying little about the case. Today, a judge ordered the suspect be held without bail until his next court date later this month. David?
Thank you, Alma. Appreciate your reporting on that. Well, now to the latest on the wildfires burning in Southern California, where evacuation orders have been expanded tonight on the eastern and northern flanks of the Palisades fire, which is now threatening parts of the communities of Brentwood and Encino. Officials say 11 people have now died in connection with the largest two blazes, the Palisades and the Eaton fire. That one's still burning in the foothills in the community of Altadena. The number of structures destroyed simply staggering at more than 12,000 and counting. This evening, we heard from those in Altadena as they returned to what was left and tried to make sense of it.
There's nothing left, and I've been here for about an hour and a half, and I don't want to leave. It's home.
Everything that we know and love is gone. Not just this house, my whole city gone, man. The whole thing, like everything, my whole neighborhood, everything that I grew up to love and know is burnt up.
Stories like that over and over. Governor Gavin Newsom today calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to fire hydrants, which made it nearly impossible for crews to effectively fight the fires in spots during those first critical hours. All right, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safina now. Matt, those Santa Ana winds have been the major driver of the flames throughout this disaster. We saw a little bit of a window today for fire crews where things calmed down. What's happening now, and what about the weekend?
Yeah, the winds are still down quite a bit, which is great to see. And again, this just gives firefighters more and more time to get on the job, well, stay on the job there and do the hard work that they've been doing for days now across Southern California. But those winds are going to ramp up again. When we look at the wind forecast here, notice that we begin to get the colors coming offshore again. These are winds that are going to be in the 30, 40 miles an hour. This is going into Saturday night, tomorrow night, and then overnight and into Sunday morning, which is when the Santa Anas typically peak in the overnight hours. So while we don't have any fire weather warnings right now, we do have fire weather watches and high wind watches up across the Southland here, and it extends all the way down to San Diego area right now. So light winds tonight. Santa Ana's pick up tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, and then another round of strong offshore flow again next week. Looks like Monday night and Tuesday. So we're not out of the woods, David, but at least we got a break.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it. Meanwhile, 11 firefighting strike teams from Oregon began their work on the Palisades fire. They will in part be monitoring and knocking out hotspots, though that role, of course, expected to evolve. In total, 300 firefighters and 75 engines from Oregon are in Southern California, and at least for the next couple weeks. We appreciate the efforts of all those first responders. KGW is teaming up with the American Red Cross to support wildfire victims in Southern California. If you have the means, please consider donating by scanning this QR code or look for the links at the top of KGW.com. You can also donate in person at any U.S. bank branch. Our thanks to them. Donations in the short term will help the Red Cross shelter and feed survivors, provide mental health supports, and also help with reunification efforts. So far, more than 150 of you have donated, and we're approaching $20,000 in contributions in just over 24 hours here. From all of us here, thank you for your generosity. Developing this evening, the largest healthcare worker strike in Oregon history has no end in sight. Celine Stevens talked to Providence and those on the picket lines about what comes next.
We need to start putting decisions back in doctors' hands and not corporate executives.
Providence healthcare workers, this time including physicians, launched Oregon's biggest healthcare strike Friday, involving around 5,000 workers represented by the Oregon Nurses Association.
I'm out here with everybody else, to really advocate for patient safety. We can only do so much. We can only see so many people. And it really comes down to patient safety at the end of the day.
Doctors and nurses calling on Providence to not only provide competitive wages and benefits, but improve staffing and comply with the state's safe staffing laws, something physicians claim is not being done despite demands.
It makes you really angry and frustrated because we've been at the bargaining table, spelling these things out to them very clearly, what needs to be done, and even trying to provide solutions that they've all rejected.
But Providence says that's not true.
There have been requests from the different bargaining units for things that didn't end up in the law. That law, was a coalition of people. They've asked for those things to now get written into contracts.
Providence says they're highly committed to staffing, and even with a national shortage of doctors and nurses, they've made increases. But now with the strike, Providence had to bring in assistants to take care of patients.
We have medical directors, we have other hospitalists, we have independent medical staff physicians in place at St. Vincent's providing physician care for patients at St. Vincent's as we speak.
Providence says people can still come to their hospitals if needed, but longer wait times are to be expected. Physicians are only striking at St. Vincent and women's clinics, but nurses are holding the picket line at all 8 hospitals and all women's clinics too, leading some clinics to shut down. Providence blames the union for the impact to patients, but providers say,
I think it's insulting and it's also frustrating. Because that's our whole reason for being here is to, take care of our community. But, if we feel like it's not safe and not sustainable, that's not going to benefit our community in the long run.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.